Okay, can you guys hear me? If someone could just type in and let me know whether they can hear me or not, because I cannot tell from my side here. I am going to turn on the question and answer portion of the Google Hangout. So anytime you have a question, please feel free to type in and ask a question. Well, tonight our subject is about connection, and we're going to start with a basic definition of what connection is. According to freedictionary.com, connection is the act of connecting, the state of being connected, one that connects, an association or relationship, the logical or intelligible ordering of words or ideas, reference or relation to something else, a person, especially one of influence or importance, with whom one is associated as by kinship or common interests, a conveyance or scheduled run providing continuing service between means of transportation. As you can see from that broad definition, there are many ways to be in connection. But the connection that I am speaking of is as it relates to self and others. Connection can be thought of as the relationship that you have to yourself, the relationship you have to friends, family, kids. That's a connection. Um, you can have a connection to the earth, um, uh, which includes the five elements: fire, water, earth, spirit. Um, you can have connections to those things as well. The premise for connection that I want to touch on is our connection to people. And I'm going to start with the most basic connection point and where we often are disconnected from that connection, and that is our relationship to ourselves. For so many years, for a long period of time, I would say more than 10 years, I was totally disconnected from the connection of feeling in my body. I had a terrible breakup with somebody that I was totally in love with, and basically I stuffed those feelings down. I repressed it to the point where I didn't want to ever feel that way again. I didn't want to have that type of connection to another human being. I didn't want to love that person that way. I didn't want to feel that type of connection. So I stuffed it down subconsciously, and every relationship after that point was cut off. I totally disconnected from the feeling in my body. Like I would think sadness, but I wouldn't feel sadness in my body. Um, like you could literally touch my arm and I would feel no sensation. So I had totally disconnected. Um, I had totally become disconnected from my physical body um, at that point. And it was only recently that I actually was able to recognize that and start making changes to become connected again with my physical body. Um, I have often had clients in the past, tell me that they're with people all the time and in a space that you would think that you would feel connected. They actually didn't feel connected at all, that they felt alone or lonely in a room full of people because they were experiencing no connection at all. So the purpose of this talk is to start recognizing where we have become disconnected in our connections and start to reconnect um, in those connections. I mentioned briefly what I call the 5 elements. And the 5 elements are really nothing more than things that we've talked about throughout mankind. The elements have been used in every part of the world. I've read about all cultures that reference the 5 elements. And the 5 elements consist of fire, which is referencing our passion. So when someone says somebody is very fiery, or they reference the fire element, that is your passion. That's what we're going to use that word to associate with. Water, which is the second element, those are our emotions. So when someone says somebody is, watery, they're talking about their emotions. Earth is the third element. That is our physical bodies. That's what represents the earth. Air, which is the mental realm or your mind. And then spirit is just that spirit, yourself, your inner man, your inner being. So these are the 5 elements. And most people are not connected with their elements. The elements exist, they're there. Some people are predominantly one over the other, which we have all of them. But for me, I'm a airy person, very mental, always in the mental realm. So everything, I'm always thinking about everything, thinking through everything. I process everything through my thoughts. Whereas someone who is more water or emotional, they process everything through their emotions. They have to feel it. I have to think it. And so whichever one is dominant for you, we tend to forget about, forego, disconnect from all the other ones. And so it makes us an unbalanced person. And so it makes our connections unbalanced in every way possible. So if you're a very, what they call earthy person, you're practiced. You are very grounded. Um, it takes you a long time to make decisions. Everything about that person is very slow. There's no snap decisions for a person who is real earthy. And sometimes these elements, when they become unbalanced or out of whack, we have no idea who we are and why we do certain things, and why you can be in a room of people and feel totally disconnected from those people and things around you. So I want to encourage everyone to start learning about the elements and how they influence you, and how you can use the elements to your advantage. Um, there are ways to enhance any one of these elements that are lower, being used in a lower realm. For example, I know for myself personally, one of my main goals in where my work comes in and where my work is around is in the water realm or the emotional realm. I know that is a place that I have to work hard at. And I have to stay connected with myself and others in that emotional space. So I have to communicate what I'm feeling at that exact time. I have to be honest with what I'm feeling and thinking and communicating and expressing that so that I can stay true to the work that I need to do in the water realm and working in that space. Like I am a person that did not like to express those type of feelings because it almost always made me feel weak. Um, Expressing feelings was always something that was taught to me that was, oh, it was weak. You just didn't do it. You didn't allow people to see you in a vulnerable state. So therefore, as an adult, I had difficulties communicating my thoughts and feelings. And so therefore, my connection with others was broken in that space because I wasn't able to communicate those things with people the way that I needed to. And it wasn't until I started working with the elements, working with the planetary influences, working with the natural seasons, spring, fall, summer, winter, um, whether we know it or not, in those different seasons, there's a different connection between us and those seasons. And so, like, certain seasons are for planting, certain seasons are for um, contemplation. There's the whole seed time and harvest concept that comes out of the Bible is definitely a part of human connection because there's just think about it. Seed, you have to plant. We're just going to use an idea. You have to plant an idea. So that's your seed. And then you have to give it time to be cultivated. So that could be brainstorming, that could be developing the idea, that could be implementing different things going on. And so you have seed, you have time, and then you have harvest where you've reaped whatever it is that you've planted. So it doesn't just work in the sense of seed time and harvest for crops or seed time and harvest for, blessings and tithes and all those things of that nature. It is truly a total, complete package of everything that's going on in and around you. Totally. I decided to do this exercise with myself. So for, let's see, since I believe it was 2008 or 9, I decided to I decided to stop putting chemicals in my hair. And so I went natural, meaning no perms, no chemicals to straighten my hair. So, of course, I went through the transitioning process, where it was part kinky, part straight, all this stuff going on with my hair. And so I never really worked with it in the natural state. I didn't wear it in the natural state. So even after I stopped getting the perms in my hair, I was still getting my hair straightened or Dominican blowouts or wearing braids or wearing weave, different types of weave in my hair. It wasn't until February, like I would have periods over the last 2 years where I would go through this phase where, okay, I'm going to wear it in the natural. I would start doing twist out sets and doing different things, trying to figure out what products work for my hair. And I would get frustrated. And I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. I'm going to straighten my hair. It's just too much going on, too much work. And so in February, I gave myself 6 months that I'm not going to straighten my hair, which I was able to do that. I straightened it only enough to trim my ends, and that wasn't really straightening. That was just blow drying it so that the hairdresser could trim my ends. I did that twice, I believe, or 3 times, whatever it was. But I had such an awful connection to my hair that I had the belief that my hair had to be that working in corporate America, it had to look this certain type of way. So one of the reasons that I did this exercise was to kind of break that connection with my hair because it was unhealthy. I was stressed out. Like right now, my hair I twisted it and then I took the twist out, and so this is what it looks like. And so this exercise I started in February, and my 6 months is now over because I'm in August. And I've learned so much about myself and that connection with my hair, as to why it was such a major big deal. And it was all about control and surrender. Those were the two lessons that I learned in this 6 month process with breaking this connection with my hair. Having to be bone straight, having to look a certain kind of way, having no patience to work with it. And I realized that I could not break the connection before now because I couldn't give up control. I couldn't give up the control to allow my hair to just be however it wanted to be in that particular day. Because I don't know how many of you out there have natural hair, but you know that some days your hair has a mind of its own. It don't matter how you twisted it. It don't matter how you've tied it up. It don't matter how it is that you think you want it to look. There's just days negative. It doesn't do right. And so I was able to the control with my hair, and it allowed me to surrender to the fact that, so what, my hair is not bone straight today. Who cares? So what, I walked out in the 102-degree temperature in Texas when my hair was somewhat straight, and it's frizzy now. Beyond my control that it's 102 degrees outside, so therefore it made my hair frizz up. So I had to surrender that connection to my hair. And I'm happy to say I haven't straightened my hair yet. I'm over my 6 months. So I'm just going to take it day by day. And I mean, I've had people tell me, "Oh, your hair is cute." And I'm sitting here thinking in my mind, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Because this looked hot mess productions to me. But it was neat. And I was using products and I was making it happen and I was working with it. And, that gave me some hope. Um, but can you see how we have unhealthy connections to things and we don't even realize it? So I started doing inventories on other areas of my life. Where do you have unhealthy connections to things? Is it food? Is it sex? Is your connection to God or spirit unhealthy? Meaning you don't have a connection? Where's your unhealthy connection? Where have you disconnected? I've met several people recently who have had things happen to them, like illnesses, cancer, car accidents, all kinds of catastrophic things, to where they gave up on God. They just did not feel like that entity or being existed for them any longer. They told me that God doesn't exist to her, um, because if God really did exist, why does she have cancer? Why does she have a double mastectomy? Why did she have a car accident that totaled her car and she had to put her dog down and all these things? And what I said to her was, sometimes God allows things, you have to go through some things because that was your destiny. That's going to be your testimony on the other side. That's how you're going to bring people that are in your same situation back. That's how you're going to help someone else live, is based on that story. So how can we make connections healthy? Number one. And then number two, how can we get connected? So to get connected, you have to first connect with yourself. In order to have any kind of connection, it starts with you first, from the inside out. Um, it took me a long time to get that. I was always searching for things that were outside of myself. I would do things for people and they weren't appreciative and I didn't feel appreciated. Um, but the main problem with that is I wasn't appreciating myself. Appreciation starts from the inside. Grace, gratitude, joy, anything that you're searching for outside of yourself, peace, love, all of those things start with you first. So if you cannot and have not done that with yourself, you're not going to, it's never going to come from anyone else. It has to come from you first. So if you want to experience joy from the inside out. Be joyful with who you are. Create joy within you, and therefore joy will come in other ways around you. That's the basic law of attraction. Like attracts like. And so if you're positive, you're going to attract other positive people. If you're negative, that's what you're going to attract. You can only draw to you what you're putting out in the universe. So if harmony is what you're putting out, you're going to get harmony. Discord, stress, whatever it is that you're putting out, that's what you're going to get back. And it starts with cleaning ourselves up. I definitely would like for you guys to connect with me on social media. You can find me on Meet You Renee on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. All you have to do is a Google search on Meet You Renee and you'll find me. Um, like my Facebook page under Meet You Renee Coaching for helpful tips and other things. And if you're local in the Dallas, Texas area, I do a meetup. Um, you can find it under Conscious Awakenings. I do a weekly meetup on Tuesdays, and I do different talks throughout the Metroplex on various different subjects. I do have a couple of mini classes um, on connection that go deeper into what we have been talking about tonight. You can find those on eventzilla.net. Actually, you can go to get, what is it, www.getconnectednow.eventzilla.net. And then you can also find a virtual version of this because that particular one is actually in person. The virtual version is www.getconnectedvirtual.com. You can always email me at mechireenee@gmail.com to um, get further in classes, programs, retreats, um, different things that I have going on and different things that I'm offering. Um, let's see, I think we might have a question. This has been fun and an interesting broadcast. We don't have any other questions. We don't have any questions at this time. So I'm going to leave you with this. Get connected now. Thank you for your time. I am Meet You Renee with Conscious Awakenings.